killing took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon. The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car.
How's it going, everyone? It is On here. Welcome back to another video. As always, yeah, I guess before I start this video, I know a lot of people are like waiting for my Resident Evil 2 review. Thankfully, I'm almost done with it. I should be able to get it up within the next day or two. I'm aiming for tomorrow. If you're seeing this video on Friday, I'm aiming to get it up on Saturday. In fact, the Ghost Survivors DLC just came out today, so I've been playing for a little bit of that, and I'm going to add that into like my thoughts over on the review, so it should be pretty cool. But yeah, today's video, I really wanted to talk about Dreams. The beta ended like about a week and a half ago. I really wanted to make a video last week on it, just never really had the time because I was just up and just doing some other stuff, and ultimately, yeah, I guess today is where we're at, and let's talk about Dreams, because Dreams is definitely a game from Sony that's coming out here in 2019. One of the few we have confirmation on. There seems to be like two camps, really. People that like Dreams and are like diehard fans into it, and then you have the people that just believe it's going to be something that's not for them. Honestly, there's people like me where it's kind of in the middle, where I think I'm going to play around with it a bit. Honestly, I was kind of talking with some friends about like making some shit before the game actually dropped. But once the beta came out and I actually played for the tutorials, it was kind of like an eye-opening thing where I'm like, I'm pretty shit at this, I'm not going to be able to do much, I'm going to let other people do the creating for me, and I'll enjoy what they have. So yeah, I thought I'd give over some like my thoughts and impressions of the game, because yeah, I don't think I've really enjoyed a medium-medical game until, I guess Tearaway was really fun on the Vita, but I never really was a Vita guy. A lot of you guys know that personally about me. So really, I'd say Little Planet 2 was like the last big game I liked from them. And, you know, it's reasonable because they haven't really came out with many games. So Dreams is kind of banking on a lot for them at the studio over there at MM. So let's talk about Dreams. I guess I'll start with the creative side to it, because that is a big part of the game and ultimately what a lot of people are buying this game for. You know, I think a lot of people just have like these grand ambitions, and yeah, it's also kind of like the thing that I'm not going to talk about too much because, as you guys know, yeah, this was kind of like an eye-opening thing. So I did play through like most of the tutorials. There was only like, I think there was like a dozen or so, and the only two that I kind of like skipped out on were like animation and maybe like character modeling. So I have a good grasp. I've done like all the other tutorials. Yeah, the tutorials are really good. I think that's better than Little Planet did at explaining things. It's kind of like a blurry spot for me, because when I did play Little Planet, I was literally like 9, 10, 11 at the time when I played those games deeply with some friends. So yeah, at least, you know, being 18 at the time now, you know, obviously I'd hope I'd be able to grasp it more. And yeah, I do think there's like quite a bit of tutorials there. They are saying that they're gonna like add more tutorials, which is a good thing, because there's a lot of like a lot of things in terms of like the logic systems in that game, which just if they have more tutorials and just kind of like flesh it out a bit more, it's only going to help. I know a lot of people were like on the forums collaborating, figuring out how to do certain stuff, so I feel like that's like a main aspect they need to work on before launch, is making sure people know how to create the things they want to create, because right now a lot of it's just like, you got to figure it out yourself, and they'll explain you some like basic stuff, like if you jump out of the borders of the map, how you can make it so they die and stuff. But besides that, you know, it's a lot of it's just like your own self just kind of messing around and figuring it out yourself. So there's a lot of tools. People can use the moves, people can use the DualShock 4. A lot of it's really exacting, it's kind of annoying. Like, you can make things that are like millimeters off, and a lot of times, like, I spent my time making levels is just like trying to get things back to where I want them. You can add certain parameters, like kind of like borders in a way where it's like really mathematically correct, like 1 inch, you know, kind of like bindings, where you can make things like stick to each other and just make it like on a mathematical like XYZ plane, which is very nice and very needed. Yeah, a lot of it in terms of like it's an exactness and like how you can like sculpt things and make it, you know, either very like dreamy, as you've seen the game is, and very exacting. There's quite simply a way there, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I definitely think it's a lot better than Little Planet. Certainly by the levels I'm about to talk about here, in terms of like what people have already made so far, you're gonna be able to tell that. So yeah, I think so far with like all the video I captured, I didn't capture the level I made, which wasn't really a level. It was literally like a room, and then I gave up on it. That's why I decided not to make it. Yeah, that was not good. So yeah, the footage I'm using in this video, as you can see, are probably similar to what Media Molecule has put out in their streams. A lot of it's just like the best, you know, kind of community made maps so far and levels that people have made. So these are like my personal favorites. So if you're seeing it right here, these are like some of my favorites from the beta. Yeah, there's some crazy projects out there already, which is pretty, you know, crazy how this was like only like a 1 month beta, 1 month and a half maybe for some people that got like for the newsletter. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Someone made PlayStation Home and they were like continuing to update it. Some guy made an FPS, which actually felt pretty good. You know, they had like things speaking for your controllers. I played like one level where you're driving a Jeep and like the rumble of like the Jeep was like going for the controller, which is pretty insane, and you can even change it to like a first person point of view. A lot of cool stuff like that is really, you know, interesting. Just really makes you realize like if only the beta people were able to make this with like the couple weeks that they had. just think what they're going to be able to do when they actually make other projects after learning from their previous projects and having like a full year to work on some stuff. As well as, you know, when the game actually comes out and everyone can play, you know. Definitely going to have a bright future ahead of it. Yeah, someone recreated a PT that was going around Twitter. That was really impressive. Just, yeah, there's a lot of potential for here. And just in terms of picking up and playing this game and just having different experiences, I think is what's going to stand us apart from Little Planet. Because Little Planet, you'd always play like a platformer most of the time. You'd play like your bomb survivals, your whale survivors, and then you'd have your really good like level mini games at times, and then you'd have your platformers, which are like for the most part what was there. But there's fighting games in this. There are a lot of cool puzzlers. There's a really cool stealth level that was a personal favorite of mine, and then there's like some like, you know, animations and like really cool cinematics that people have made. That's not really what I play Dreams for, but I did check out some of those, and yeah, they're pretty impressive. Yeah, it just feels fully fledged. Like, I feel like a lot of this stuff is like me pointing out the little things in this game, like how you can toggle a flashlight on the end of your gun, which is really impressive that people can actually come up with that kind of stuff. Just, man, if you haven't seen any of these like streams from Media Molecule, like putting out for Dreams, it's going to be really, really cool to see what they do. So yeah, Dreams, overall, what did I think of the demo? I'm impressed. I came out more impressed than I thought in terms of like the systems they have out there. You know, I thought Dreams was like a mess and it didn't know what it was trying to do. But if you add like a campaign, which is obviously not prevalent in this demo because you're playing like the creative side to it, we've heard that's like 3 hours long. There's like a leveling system, which, you know, you rank up based on like how much you play Dreams, and like what areas you play in Dreams determines what you have like a little sticky under your name, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you can create your own homeworld, which is apparently something that they're fleshing out, because right now a lot of people like, you know, creating their pods and placing stickers. That's pretty much what you could do in Dreams right now, is just really mainly place stickers. But apparently they're like rehauling that. Just there's a lot of potential in Dreams, because obviously you can create your own characters which have their own movesets, and just a lot of it's just, it's game engine, guys. It's a game engine, and there's a lot you could do with it. So yeah, at this point, I think they said they're going to be coming out with news here in 5 days on February 20th. Hopefully that's a release date. I feel like after this beta, people have played the game for hours and hours and hours, that it's kind of frustrating not knowing when this game's coming out. So I feel like hopefully February 20th will be like the day they give us a release date. I feel like, yeah, it's time. I mean, it's time for a lot of games for Sony, because we haven't seen any games from Sony since like E3, but definitely Dreams, considering we saw this first at like the PlayStation 4 reveal. It's time for this game to come out. And yeah, definitely over the years this game's going to progress. Obviously with the PS5 imminent coming out like next year, which is like heavily rumored, it's going to be like 2020 fall at the earliest. Hopefully this will be like a backwards compatible thing, and they'll be able to bring Dreams over to PS5, because definitely this is like a Little Planet game where it's going to be like thriving for years to come based on what the community makes of it. And, you know, Media Molecule like sets up and just creates an avenue for the, you know, players to keep coming back. It's going to be great. So yeah, it was like a closed beta, open beta, kind of, it was a weird beta. Like there was like many phases where people would come in at different times. Near the end, it got open, kind of. I think most people got in. Some people that signed up didn't even get in. Like a couple of my friends that I know, at least one, didn't get in, even though he signed up for it. Yeah, it was kind of a shit kind of process, but they did end up getting their like stuff together near the end and end up extending it. So yeah, overall the game's running smoothly, which is a big thing for me coming off of Little Planet 3. Of course, that was made by Sumo Digital. That game ran like a mess, and that was not fun. But so far, it seems like most levels are performing really well. Like there are the occasional like frame dips, but it is an alpha, obviously, so you gotta give them some leeway for that, and it depends on like the level and how much you put into it. But overall, it ran pretty smoothly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Dreams, man. It's something that is definitely, I'd say, probably my excitement contained the same, but like in terms of overall how this game's percentage-wise, I think my impressions went up. Like there's a lot to this game in terms of like the leveling systems, I guess, that I thought it was just going to be like a game engine where it's like you can create and you can play other stuff, but there's obviously a campaign, and just, it's interesting. So yeah, I guess that was my thoughts on Dreams. I'm really impressed by the game. I'm really impressed by the community. You know, the community is what's going to make this game. So there's a lot of tools there for them to mess around, and I'm just impressed by what they made, honestly. Dreams is going to be really good. I'm not sure if it's going to sell well, but for the people that pick it up, I feel like they're going to have a blast with it, depending on who they are, because there's just so much to play. And especially with like all these creations in the beta carrying over to the full game, that's just going to help launch so much better, because you have like a month of content that people have made from the get-go on day one. So yeah, hopefully here we'll get some updates on Dreams, or release date. Of course, I'll probably make a video when that eventually does come out, or, you know, follow me on Twitter. That's where I put a lot of my thoughts that I don't make videos on, over there. So I've been online. Again, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. My Resident Evil 2 review should be coming out here within the next 48 hours or so during this weekend, and looking forward to showing that to you guys. So yeah, again, thank you guys for watching so much, for watching this video. Appreciate you guys as always, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.